Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about potentiometer. See, potentiometer, it is basically a long piece of wire, a long piece of uniform wire, sometimes a few meters in length, 1000 centimeters like that, across which a standard cell, is connected. Now, see this wire, this blue colored ones are the wires. So, this wire is sometimes cut in several pieces like this and placed side by side. And connected at the ends by thick metal strips. Now in this figure, the wires run from A to C. The wires run from A to C. See, we can make use of this potentiometer to compare the EMF of two cells as well as to measure the internal resistance of a cell. So, first we will discuss about how can we use this potentiometer to compare the EMF of two cells, and after that we will discuss about how to measure the internal resistance of a cell by using this potentiometer. So in this figure you see the potentiometer wire runs from A to C. Now the small vertical portions, these green colored ones, these small vertical portions are the thick metal strips connecting the various sections of the wire. This is one section of the wire, this is another piece of wire, this is another piece of wire. So all these pieces are connected by using these thick metal strips. Now the current I, let current I that flows through this wire, that can be varied by using a variable rheostat R. Now, the principle of potentiometer is the potential drop across any or potential drop along any length of the wire that is directly proportional to the length of that wire. Not the length, that it is directly proportional to that much length of the wire. The potential drop along any length of the wire, that is for example the potential drop along this much length of the wire. You just imagine from here to here. That will be proportional to this length of the wire. So the principle of potentiometer is the potential drop along any length of the wire that is directly proportional to that much length of the wire. Now since the wire is uniform, the potential difference between A and any point at a distance L from A, any point, you can consider a point here, you can consider a point here. So the potential difference between A and any point at a distance L from A, that will be what? Epsilon, E of L is equal to phi into L, where this phi, it is actually called as potential drop per unit length. So, phi is the potential drop per unit length. So, since the wire is uniform, the potential difference between A and any point at a distance L from A, that is E of L equal to phi into L, and I am taking this as equation number 1. This figure actually shows an application of the potentiometer to compare the EMF of two cells. Here we have two cells of EMF E1 and E2. So, first consider the position of this key. Here we have a key now. So, consider this is a two-way key here. So, first consider the position of the key where 1 and 3 are connected. So, when we plug in that key somewhere here, then 1 and 3 are connected. So that this galvanometer will be connected to what? Connected to this cell of EMF E1. When the key is plugged in between these two, then this connection comes now. That is galvanometer gets connected with this cell of EMF E1. Then what we want to do? We just want to move this jockey along this wire from this point A like this. We want to move that jockey like this, then like this, then like this. Along this wire, and stop that jockey when the galvanometer shows zero deflection. Galvanometer shows zero deflection means current through the galvanometer Ig becomes 0. So when we move this or when we slide this jockey along this wire, at some particular point somewhere here, just consider this point as N1. So when this jockey reaches here, the galvanometer shows 0 deflection. So let that point be N1 and let this point N1 be L1 distance away from this point A. Okay. Now consider this loop A N1 G3 1 A. Okay, we are considering this loop A. It starts from A, comes to this point N1, then G, then 3, 1, then back to A. So we are considering this loop. Then here we are going to apply Kirchhoff loop rule. According to Kirchhoff's loop rule, sum of potential differences across every single element is equal to 0. Okay, see, while we apply the Kirchhoff's loop rule, we don't want to worry about the directions of current. Okay, why? Because this loop rule has not only the loop rule as well as the junction rule, they have their own correcting nature. Kirchhoff's loop rule as well as junction rule, they have their own correcting nature. So we don't want to worry about the directions of current that we are assuming here. So we are going to apply that Kirchhoff's loop rule to this loop. Okay, so you see, I'm starting from A, then I'm coming like this, I'm reaching this point N1, then I'm going to G, then 3, 1, again back to A. So I'm moving like this. Okay, that is in the anti-clockwise direction, no? Alright, so when I'm starting from my motion from A and I'm coming to this point N1, so there is a wire of length L1 there. Okay, you just imagine current flows from A to this point. Okay, current flows like this. Okay, from A to this point. So this will be the higher potential region and this will be the lower potential region. So we are walking from P to N. As per the Kirchhoff loop rule, if you are walking from P to N, the corresponding potential difference must be taken as negative. Okay, so what will be that potential difference? So what will be that potential drop here? That will be phi into L1. Right, because the potential difference between A and any point at a distance L from A, that is phi into L. So here we have that point as N1 here. It is of length L1. Okay, from A to N1, the length of the wire is L1. So the potential difference here, it will be phi into L1. But here we are walking from P to N. So that must be taken as negative. Then sum of potential differences. No? So plus. Then we reached here. We are going through this. We reached here. Then we are going like this because we want to come back to A to complete the loop. So when we reaches here, see, this is the negative terminal and this is the positive terminal. Okay, so we are walking from lower potential region to higher potential region. According to Kirchhoff rule, if you are walking from N to P, then the corresponding potential difference must be taken as positive. While we have discussed about Kirchhoff loop rule as well as junction rule, we said that, no? So here the potential difference across this is E1. That must be taken as positive. So plus E1 equal to 0. This is what that loop rule says, no? Okay, then from this, if I am taking this minus phi L1 to the other side, that becomes plus phi L1. Right, so we can write E1 equal to phi L1. Alright, now I am taking this as equation number 2. Now, next what we want to do is, we want to plug in the key in between 3 and 2. Okay, we are considering the position of the key here in between 3 and 2. The key is closed here so that this galvanometer is connected to this cell of EMF E2. Okay, then after that again we want to do the same, we want to follow the same procedures. We want to move this jockey from this point A along this wire. Okay, and you just imagine when this jockey reaches somewhere here. Okay, when this jockey reaches somewhere here, the galvanometer shows 0 deflection. Okay, let this point be, I am taking this point as N2. Okay, and like the length of this wire from the point A to this point N2 as L2. Okay, that is the balancing length here is L2. From A to this point, the length of the wire is L2. So here the balancing length is L2 because when the jockey reaches at this point N2, the galvanometer shows 0 deflection. So balancing condition, no, and corresponding length is the balancing length. So here the balancing length is L2. Now let us consider this loop. A, I'm coming like this, I'm reaching this point N2. Okay, so A, N2, G, 3, 2, A. Okay, I'm considering this loop. I'm starting from A, then I'm coming to this point N2, then I'm going like this G, then 3, 2, then through this cell I'm coming back to this point A. So I'm considering this loop and I'm going to apply Kirchhoff's loop rule here. So just like we discussed here, let us assume that the current flows from A to this point N2. That current flows from here to here. So this will be the higher potential region. This will be the lower potential region. This will be the higher potential region. This would be the lower potential region. Okay, see, we are walking from this point A and we are coming to this point N2. So we are walking from P to N. So the corresponding potential difference. What is the corresponding potential difference here? Phi into L2, no? Okay, because the potential difference between A and any point at a distance L from the wire is phi into L. So here that length of the wire is L2. So corresponding potential difference will be phi L2. Then we are walking from P to N. So corresponding potential difference must be taken as negative. Then plus, we are going like this through the galvanometer. We reached here. Then we are going like this. See, this is the lower potential region. This is a higher potential region. So we are walking from N to P. So the corresponding potential drop must be taken as positive. So plus E2 is equal to 0. Okay. Now you see, if I am taking this minus phi L2 to this side, that becomes plus now. So we can write E2 is equal to phi into L2. And I am taking this as equation number 3. Okay. So we got two equations. One is E1 equal to phi L1. Another one is E2 equal to phi L2. Now equation number 2, not 2, no. This was equation number 2 actually. This was equation number 3. So equation number 2 divided by equation number 3 gives us what? E1 divided by E2 is equal to phi L1 divided by phi L2. This phi cancelled, no? So we are getting E1 divided by E2 is equal to L1 divided by L2. Okay, I'm taking this as equation number 4. So like this, we can compare the EMFs of two sources which are having EMFs E1 and E2. Okay, now you see, we can even choose one cell as a standard non-one whose EMF is known to us. So we can calculate the EMF of the other. That is, for example, you just imagine we know the EMF of the second cell. That is, we know epsilon 2. I'm not E2. Okay, this is known to us. And E1, this is an unknown one. Okay, we don't know its EMF. So we can calculate that unknown EMF by using this equation, no? E1 equal to E2 into L1 divided by L2. Okay, so we can compare the EMF of two cells and we can even choose one cell as a standard standard non-one whose EMF is known to us, and we can calculate the unknown EMF using the same equation. Alright. Now let us see how can we measure the internal resistance of a cell using this potentiometer. So for this, the arrangement is given here. The circuit diagram is shown here. Now, to determine the internal resistance of the cell, that is, here we have that cell of EMF E whose internal resistance is to be determined. So R is the internal resistance of this cell and it is connected across a resistance box through a key K2. Okay, now when this key K2 is open, okay, that is, first we want to make this key K2 open. Then after that we want to move this jockey which is connected to this galvanometer from this point A along this potentiometer wire. And you just imagine when that jockey reaches somewhere here at this point N1, the galvanometer shows null deflection. That is, the current through the galvanometer becomes 0. Okay, that is, it got balanced here. Alright, now let L1 be the length of this potentiometer wire from this point A to this point N1. So L1 is the balancing length here. Okay, that is the length of this wire in the balancing condition. Alright, now you see, when we consider this loop, that is, you see A, N1, then G, then this is open now, so we cannot consider this loop here. So A, I'm starting my motion from A, I'm coming to this point N1, then G, then E, then back to A. So when we consider this loop and applying Kirchhoff's loop rule, just we have applied in the last case, we will get, you see, the potential drop along L1 length of the wire will be equal to what? Phi into L1, and that will be equal to what? Here we have E. Okay, EMF E, and I am taking this as equation number 1. Now, after that we want to close this key. We want to plug in the key here. So, I am considering the next situation when the key K2 is closed. Alright, so when the key K2 is closed, this cell B sends a current, some current I, through this resistance box. Okay, and you just imagine we are again moving this jockey along this wire from the point A. And just imagine when this jockey reaches somewhere here. Okay, this jockey reaches somewhere here at this point, some point N2. Galvanometer shows null deflection. That is, it got balanced. We got the balancing condition. And let the corresponding length, that is length of the potentiometer wire from this point A to this point N2, let it be L2. Then again we are applying Kirchhoff's loop rule here. See, V is the terminal potential difference of the cell. Then when we apply the Kirchhoff's loop rule here, in which loop? See, I am considering this loop, B, A, okay, then K2, alright, then G, then N2, and I am going like this. I reached here N2, then again back to this point B. So when we consider that loop, you see, here we have potentiometer wire of length L2 now. So what will be the potential drop along this much length of the wire? That will be phi into L2, and this will be equal to what? The terminal potential difference V. Okay, and I am taking this as equation number 2. Now, I am just dividing equation number 1 with equation number 2. So, from equation number 1, we have E equal to phi into L1. From equation number 2, we have V equal to phi into L2. Now, you see, this phi from the numerator and this phi from the denominator can be cancelled now. So, we will be getting E divided by V equal to L1 divided by L2, and I am taking this as equation number 3. Okay, now you see, we have one relation like this, no? Which is V, terminal potential difference V equal to EMF E minus I into R. Okay, this V can be written as I into R, which is equal to E minus IR. When I am taking this minus IR to this side, that becomes plus. So, IR plus I into small letter r is equal to E. Then I is common. So, R plus R equal to E. Then current I will be equal to what? E divided by R plus R. Okay, so we have this equation I equal to E by R plus R, or from this we can write EMF E is equal to I into R plus R. Okay, now we have this equation V is equal to I into R, and I am going to take the ratio of these two equations, that is E divided by V is equal to I into R plus R divided by IR. Okay, now you see, what is this E by V? See, from here, from this equation number 3, we got E by V as L1 by L2. So, here we can write L1, this is equal to E by V equal to I into R plus R divided by I into R. This I can be cancelled, and this E by V, this is equal to L1 divided by L2. Okay, now you see, R plus R divided by R equal to L1 divided by L2. That is R by capital letter R, okay, plus R by R, because it is a common denominator, no? This is equal to L1 divided by L2. Alright, now what is this R by R? R by R is 1, no? So we can write R by R plus 1 is equal to L1 divided by L2. I am taking this plus 1 to this side so that it becomes minus 1 there. So R by R is equal to L1 by L2 minus 1. We want to find out the internal resistance of the cell, that is small letter r. So this will be equal to what? Capital letter R into L1 by L2 minus 1. Okay, so we got an expression for that internal resistance of the cell, R as capital letter R into, okay, L1 by L2. This is the resistance that we are getting from the resistance box, and this is equal to L1 by L2. L1 was the balancing length when the key K2 was opened, and when the key K2 is closed, we are getting the balancing length as L2. So we are getting internal resistance as R into L1 by L2 minus 1. Okay. So in this video, we have discussed about the potentiometer, its principle, and how can we use that potentiometer to compare the EMF of two cells and to measure the internal resistance of a cell. I hope you understood this. Thank you.